First person singular takes the object in the possessive tense if the participle is part of the predicate. You understand?
Oh. No. But anyway, it was a peachy picture, I bet you.
It was, eh?
Yeah. Willie and I...
I said it was, eh?
What's what?
A good picture.
Where?
At the Princess, the one you and Willie went to.
I know it.
Well,
That's the same one you and Willie went to.
I didn't go to the picture with Willie.
You did too, I bet you. You said you and Willie went to see Sailbad the Sinner.
I didn't say any such a thing. I never saw Sailbad the Signer. And if I had, I wouldn't have gone with Willie Toops. I think he's a dreadful little pest.
Please, Mr. McGee.
Well?
You are speaking of the man I love. I and Willie are engaged.
There you go again, sis. You mean Willie and I are in... No, that would be...
Sure. He gave me an engagement ring, too, I bet you. See?
Oh, say, that's a beautiful ring, Teeny.
Sure it is, I bet you. It's pure silver.
Really? Pure silver?
Sure. He got it in a box of Cracker Jack. He said if the prize was a whistle, we'd play cops and robbers, and if it was a ring, we'd get engaged. And it was a ring, and boy, was Willie ever burned up.
Yeah.
Sure, he wanted to play cops and robbers. Goodbye now.
Goodbye, Teeny. I hear that freedom train is coming to Wistful Vista, Molly. That's something I want to see.
Oh, me too, McGee. Imagine seeing the original Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and everything.
Yeah. It's kind of easy to forget the things that made this a great country and sort of take things for granted.
Oh, isn't the Freedom Train a wonderful name for it?
Yeah. I just hope they watch the danger signals and keep it on the right track.
Well, the crew is made up of people like you and me, dearie, so it's up to us. Enjoyed that picture, McGee, that crossfire. Isn't that Bob Ryan wonderful?
Oh, he's okay if you like that type. Tall, handsome, curly-haired, rugged, and built like an athlete.
Oh, he's such a fine actor, too. He had me simply scared to death.
Ah, my gosh, I could have played that role just as well myself. I had all his talent. Just because he... Oh, hey, look who's coming. It's that Williams guy.
Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, the man Dr. Gamble introduced us to in the bank.
Yeah.
I thought he was a very pleasant... Good day, Mr. Williams.
What? Oh, how do you do, Mrs. McCabe?
McGee is the name, Williams. Remember? We met you in the bank with Doc Gamble the other day.
Oh, yes, McGee. Lovely day, isn't it? Except that it's a little cool. Although at this time of year, I suppose we must expect a little cool weather. Except that we sometimes get quite a hot spell during our Indian summer. Pardon me for mentioning Indian summer. I didn't intend to inject a racial note into the discussion.
Well, that's quite all right, Mr. Williams. We're not Indians.
No. Not American Indians, anyway. I'm more of an East Indian. Spent several years in Indochina. Used to travel through the jungle barefooted buying lumber. Bought a lot of teak wood from a Chinese fellow named Chan. The natives all called me the barefoot boy with teak of Chan. Don't you get it, Williams? Cheek of Chan, teak of Chan. It's a play on words involving a pun on the word
Hey,
teak.
funny, McGee.
Oh, hey. My gosh, I lay awake for 2 hours last night working on that.
I rather enjoyed it myself.
Well, thanks.
I agree that a pun is sometimes the lowest form of humor, but on the other hand, a clever play on words I find rather amusing.
Yeah?
In other terms, while I detest puns, I sometimes like them very much.
Yes, I see. You live in Wistful Vista, Mr. Williams?
Yes, I do, Mrs. McGee. That is, I say I do. Although, to be strictly truthful, I live just outside of town. I suppose paying taxes here makes me a resident, but on the other hand, I consider myself, by reason of being a suburbanite, not a city dweller.
You sure hate to commit yourself, don't you, son? You in business here?
Well, you might say I am, and again, I'd hardly call it being in business.
I see.
I suppose I might be called a professional man. Although some people might find technical objections to the term, I work for the government, in a way.
Oh.
But more strictly speaking, I am a local employee.
Doing what, may we ask?
Oh, certainly. I am a meteorologist, otherwise known as the weatherman.
Oh.
Well, nice to have seen you again. Good day, probably.
So he's the weatherman. No wonder he won't give you a positive statement. I suppose you can't help.
Oh, look, McGee, we're almost home. Why don't you tell me what my surprise is? Now, you know I've been very patient.
And spoil the whole build-up? Nothing doing, Snooky. Besides, it isn't too exciting. Just a little something I planned on doing for a long time. Oh, hey, there's Wally Wimple. Hi, Wimple, man.
Hello there, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, folks. Been out for a stroll?
Been to a movie to kill time, Wimp. I cooked up a little surprise for my wife, and we didn't want to stick around home.
Well, now, isn't that a coincidence? I've cooked up a little surprise for Sweetie Face, too.
Yeah.
That's my legal wife.
Yes, we know.
What you got planned, Wimp? Something romantic?
Well, I'd hardly say that, Mr. McGee. You see, this is Sweetie Face's birthday, so I wrote a little poem for her.
Oh.
I'm going downtown now and have it printed.
Well, isn't that sweet? I'd forgotten you were a poet, Mr. Wimple. how does the poem go?
Yes, recite it, man.
All righty. It goes, to Sweetie Face on her birthday. You're 38 today, my dear, and in the very prime of life. As beautiful to me right now as when you first became my wife.
How darn.
That isn't all, Mrs. McGee. It goes on. Like this. I thought of buying you champagne, but gave that up because I'd hate to spend an evening running around with a great big loaded 38.
Great little couple, him and Sweetie Face. Well, come on, kiddo. Let's just go this way.
Well, why, McGee? Why must we go around through the alley?
Well, the delivery men may be in the driveway, and I don't want you to see the surprise till it's all set.
Yes,
see?
but I don't know
Oh,
why.
look. There's a delivery truck in the driveway right now. My gosh, I timed this just about perfect. Come on, baby.
But, dearie, that's a coal truck. That wouldn't be what... McGee, what on earth are you...
That's the surprise, kiddo. Enough coal to last all winter. And I remembered to order it before we even needed it. Pretty thoughtful, eh? Remember how I forgot to order coal last year and we almost froze to death?
Yeah, but McGee, now, I tell you...
How much more, Joe?
That's the last of it, Mr. McGee. 3 truckloads. Ought to last us all winter.
Great. Great. Much obliged, Joe. Well, how's about it, Molly? Pretty swell idea, huh?
Yes, but I... well, if I'd only known what you... Oh, dear.
Hey, now, you're not disappointed, are you? Gee whiz, I said it wasn't much, but we needed it.
No, dearie, I'm not disappointed about that. It's only that, well, I had a little surprise for you, too, and now I can't show it to you.
You did? You can't? Why not? What was it?
Well, I know how you hate to shovel coal and fire the furnace, so while you were fishing last week, I had a man come and change the furnace over to an oil burner.
You did?
I'll show it to you next spring. It's buried under the coal now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to be back on NBC for Johnson's Wax for another season, and we hope you all enjoyed Fred Waring's wonderful music this summer.
We certainly did. You know, Fred's on a different night now, McGee, with a new show. Monday nights for General Electric.
General Electric, eh? Well, I'll tune that in. I like to keep up with all the current programs. Didn't you hear me, Molly? I says I like to...
Yeah, I heard you, dearie. I'm afraid I'm not the only one.
Oh, you mean they... Oh, good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax products for home and industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
And that's Fibber, McGee, and Molly from October 7th, 1947. The football game anniversary starring Jim and Marian Jordan. And that was the McGee's 13th anniversary of their first football game together. The cast included Gail Gordon, Bill Thompson, and Arthur Q. Bryan, with Harlow Wilcox doing the announcing, sponsored by Johnson's Wax, as heard on NBC. Let's take a break. When we come back, it's It Pays to Be Ignorant from 1944, right after these words.
More Hollywood 360 after these important messages.
Allergy congestion, cut grass, cat on the sofa, dust in the carpet. Whenever allergy congestion makes you feel trapped, break through with Allegra D for 5-in-1 24-hour multi-symptom relief. Allegra D combines a non-drowsy antihistamine with a powerful decongestant for fast relief that starts working in just 1 hour. Break through allergy congestion with Allegra D. Use only as directed. Guaranteed or your money back. Visit Allegra.com.
New year, new goals, new start. You've got a resolution, and GNC's got what you need. Right now, top quality vitamins and supplements are buy one, get one 50% off. Start something backed by science to help manage your weight. Start something fierce that cranks up your training. Start something real that really works. Visit GNC or GNC.com to start something healthy today. And save even more with My GNC Rewards, a fast, free way to earn cashback rewards. GNC. Change starts here.
At Discover, we believe anniversaries should be a time of celebration, not obligation. That's why we think annual fees are ridiculous. And now, just for giving us a try, we're going to give new card members a one-year anniversary gift they'll never forget. At the end of your first year, we'll match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar. No caps and no catches, because we know if you try us, you'll like us. And that's worth every penny. Try it and believe it at discover.com/match. Cashback match offer only for new card members. Limitations apply.
Hi, Carl Amari here. During the month of January, you can digitally download the New Adventures of Michael Shayne, Volume 1, featuring 12 detective episodes starring Jeff Chandler. The New Adventures of Michael Shayne, Volume 1 is regularly priced at $19.99, but is yours for only $9.99 via digital download this month only. Also on sale during January at 50% off is Our Miss Brooks, Volume 1, starring Eve Arden in 12 comedy episodes. Our Miss Brooks Volume 1 is regularly priced at $19.99, but is yours for only $9.99 via digital download this month only. Visit ClassicRadiostore.com and digitally download the New Adventures of Michael Shayne Volume 1 and Our Miss Brooks Volume 1 at half price. In February, these two collections will go back to full price, so don't miss them while they're on sale during January. Log on to ClassicRadiostore.com to order. While you're there, download an episode of Suspense absolutely free as our gift to you. ClassicRadiostore.com.
Now back to the best in classic radio on Hollywood 360.
Welcome back. I'm Carl Amari. This is Hollywood 360, and it's time now for It Pays to Be Ignorant. It was a comedy quiz show that aired on radio from 1942 all the way to 1951. It was a spoof on such authoritative panel series as the Quiz Kids and Information Please, the satirical board of experts who are dumber than you are and can prove it were Tom Howard as the quiz master with Harry McNaughton, Lulu McDonnell, and George Shelton. Each episode started with a joke, and then the conversation would go off on all kinds of tangents and insults at each other. There was a TV series from 1949 until 1951, and then it came back on television from 1973 until 1974. But we have a radio broadcast for you now from August 11th, 1944. It's time now for It Pays to Be Ignorant.
What is an optimist?
A person who does a crossword puzzle in ink.
Correct. Pay that man $8. What do they call the inhabitants of Egypt?
People.
Correct. Pay that man $9 because...
It Pays to Be Ignorant. The zaniest of quiz shows, rebroadcast for the American Armed Forces and their allies, and featuring Al Trace's orchestra, Lula McConnell, Harry McNaughton, George Shelton, and the man who knows it pays to be ignorant, Tom Howard.
First, the expert is Mr. Harry McNaughton, that celebrated author who has just written a book entitled How to Shop Without Annoying a Salesgirl, or The Hand is Quicker Than the Eye. But here he is, Mr. Harry McNaughton.
I have a poem, Mr. Howard.
I see.
How I long for the gay old 90s. I wish those days would come back. The girls of today don't wear girdles. Things are getting pretty slack. Little thing I copied up an old beer bottle.
Okay, you should have left it there. Next, we have a woman who is flattered when you call her a flying fortress. She'd just love to be 29. A woman who talks so much her husband had lockjaw for 2 years before they knew it. Here she is in the flesh, and when I say flesh, I speak loosely, Miss Lulu McConnell.
Mr. Howard, you're the second one that has insulted me today.
Yeah?
First it was our garbage collector.
How did he insult you, as if I care?
Well, I'd forgotten to put the garbage can out, so when I heard the truck coming, I called him and said, am I too late for the garbage?
What did he say?
He said, no, hop in.
Hop in.
Charming fellow.
And you call that an insult?
Certainly. He knows I can't jump that high.
I see. You could at least try. Next, we have a man who dislikes to drink his coffee out of a cup because the spoon gets in his eye. A man who is so cheap he'd steal the whistle from Whistler's mother. Here he is, Mr. George Shelton.
Say, Mr. Howard, can you tell me the time, the right time?
The time? Well, about 4 minutes after 9.
That does it. That's the last straw.
Now, what's the matter?
All day long, ever since this morning, I've been asking people the time, and everybody tells me something different. You can't believe anybody else.
No, I see. People are very two-faced.
Oh, they are two-faced.
Okay, let's get on here. Mr. Sheldon, your head reminds me of the face on the barroom floor.
That's silly. The face on the barroom floor was a woman's face.
I know, it's the floor your head reminds me of. Well, there they are, folks, 3 living examples of the fact that life can be horrible. Now, here's the first question. Pay attention, see if we can get it. After what Central American republic is the Panama Canal named?
Just a minute now, let me think.
Yeah, what with?
Doesn't that Panama Canal, doesn't that join the Atlantic and the Pacific?
The Atlantic and Pacific is a tea company.
No, wait a minute. Just a minute.
Well, I ought to know. I was thrown out of there for teas and coffee.
For teas and coffee. That's terrible.
I had no grounds to say that.
No, you had no grounds.
And that's the first portion of It Pays to Be Ignorant. More after these words.
With SRN News, I'm Ron DeRockstra. Senators spent the day today locked in negotiations as they tried to put a swift end to the government shutdown that began very early this morning. They've gone home for the night with no progress. They'll reconvene at 1 p.m. tomorrow. A magnitude 6.3 earthquake struck northern Chile a little after 10 p.m. local time tonight, some 47 miles east of the city of Putre. So far, no immediate reports of damage, no possibility of a tsunami. Vice President Mike Pence on the first leg of his Mideast trip, where he told Egypt's president that President Trump remains committed to preserving the status quo regarding holy sites in Jerusalem while recognizing the city as Israel's capital. Pence is expected to receive a warm welcome in Israel next week, where he'll address the Knesset. And Paul Bocuse, the master chef who defined French cuisine for more than half a century, has died. He was 91 years old. This is SRN News.
AccuWeather, exclusive and dependable on AM 570, The Answer.
We'll stay on the mild side overnight with a clear sky. Low 36 within the district and low 30s outside Belleville. For your Sunday, you'll see sunshine mixed with some clouds. Mild with high 55. Cloudy, low 45 Sunday night. Monday, another mild day, morning clouds, then some afternoon sun. High pleasant 57 Monday afternoon. The AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Frank Strait.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you signed up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medishare. Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing program that's been around for 25 years, and they have hundreds of thousands of members all across the country. And get this, over the years, Medishare members have shared more than $1 billion of each other's medical bills. Best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medishare. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money. Think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have a lot to offer? Well, think again. You can join Metashare anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more, and there's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
A couple of years ago, when I started hearing about MyPillow, I was skeptical, like most people, that it could possibly be as great as everybody said it was. Well, then I got my first MyPillow. I do love it. It makes a real difference in how quickly I fall asleep, and more importantly, how refreshed I feel, how energized I feel when I wake up afterward. Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, has a very special offer for Michael Medved listeners. If you get one pillow, you get the next one free. Now, the expiration for this offer is only 2 weeks away. So don't delay. You should order now. If you're looking for a great night's sleep, now's the perfect time to get your very first MyPillow. If you already know how great the MyPillow experience can be, why not give MyPillow to everyone you know? It's a perfect gift. Call 800-320-6280. Use the promo code MEDVED or go to mypillow.com. But make sure you use the promo code MEDVED to get this special offer. Call 800-320-6280. Promo code MEDVED, MEDV as in victory, ED.
Let's talk about your timeshare. Uh-oh. Unpleasant subject? Are you sick and tired of your timeshare? You want out? Maybe you tried to sell your timeshare and you had no luck. Call my friends at Lone Star Transfer. You get a free no-obligation consultation. They have a 99% success rate and 100% money-back guarantee in writing and over 2,500 happy clients. Call toll-free 833-594-0077. That's 833-594-0077 or online at LoneStarTransfer.com.
This is AM 570, The Answer. Now back to the best in classic radio on Hollywood 360.
Welcome back. I'm Carl Amari. To my right, the vivacious Lisa Wolf, and to my left, very talented Mike Costello. And look what I have in my hands here, folks. You see this?
I sure do. That is Remind Magazine.
And it's the new and improved.
Full color, right?
Full color. It's way more pages. Let me see how many pages it says now. 79 pages. It used to be 64. And the inside before used to be black and white with a color outside. But look, every page full color now. And so it's new and improved. And you can go check it out at remindmagazine.com. You know what else they have in here now, Lisa and Mike?
They have we have a schedule of our programs.
Yeah, we do. We have our schedule of Hollywood 360, right. But now a new feature in the magazine is a monthly retro TV guide. It's a monthly listing of your favorite retro TV show. So like, where can you find Gunsmoke? Where can you find, all the great classic television shows? And they tell you what networks and what channels. Look at that whole retro classic TV guide. And I'm holding the January issue of Remind in my hand, and there's a theme. 1968 is the theme. And on the cover is Laugh-In's Goldie Hawn. There's the Beatles. There's Nixon. There's I Dream of Jeannie, Bonanza, Elvis Presley. This is a magazine that all of our listeners would really love to know about and to subscribe to. But they're not going to do that if they don't check it out. You have to check it out. Just go to remindmagazine.com. It comes to your mailbox every month, and you will just really be entertained by this terrific magazine. It's our main sponsor here on Hollywood 360. So go to remindmagazine.com. All right, time now for the conclusion to It Pays to Be Ignorant.
Mr. McNaughton is right. The Panama Canal joins the Atlantic and Pacific.
You mean they took in a partner?
What do you mean a partner?
Boy, that's going to be a long name. The Atlantic and Pacific and Panama Canal Tea Company.
Oh, wait a minute. We're not talking about a tea company. The Panama Canal joins the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean.
Boy, that's some canal, 3,000 miles long.
No. Mr. Sheldon, the continent tapers down so that the Panama Canal is only about 40 miles wide. It runs through the Isthmus of Panama.
Yeah, of course. It runs through what?
The Isthmus of Panama. Isthmus.
Why don't you try saying it with your teeth in?
Well, he did. He said isthmus. You know, like that song, I'm Dreaming of a White Isthmus?
Find out the country the Panama Canal is named at. The Panama Canal runs through this country, and we pay them $250,000 a year rental.
My word. I knew rents had gone up, but that's terrible.
Yeah.
How many rooms has it got?
Please, wait a minute.
I say, tell me another thing. Does that include gas and electricity?
Oh, it must. For that money, you should get maid service.
Yeah.
Does it include meals?
Look, the question is about the Panama Canal. Now, let's straighten it out.
You mean it's all bent?
It's up. Look, the Panama Canal runs through a certain country.
Mr. Howard, why be so evasive? What country does it run through?
Look, that's what I'm trying to find out. That's the answer to the question. We pay this country $250,000 a year for the use of the land that the canal runs across.
You mean we pay that money for a vacant lot?
Well, not exactly a vacant...
Well, if it's not a vacant lot, there must be something on it.
There is clear thinking.
Thank you, Mr. McNaughton. And if there is something on it, we want to know how many rooms.
Now, will you pay attention? The canal is 40 miles long.
A house 40 miles long? I wouldn't like that. Take all day to adjust it.
I didn't say it was a house.
But you said it wasn't a vacant lot.
Well, maybe it's an office building.
No, it's a canal.
Oh, a canal. What's the name of the canal, Mr. Howard?
Please, I told you, the Panama Canal.
Oh, I use that perfume.
Perfume?
Canal number 5.
Canal number... here is the next question. Now, see if we can get little results with this one. If I had 4 apples and someone gave me 2 bananas, how many apples will I have?
Mr. Howard, may I venture an opinion?
Certainly.
I think that's a very foolish question.
Well, now, there's a very encouraging sign. Why do you think it's foolish?
Because you can't add bananas to apples and get apples.
No. Certainly not. When you add apples to bananas, you get fruit salad.
Besides, where are you going to get bananas these days? Answer me that.
That's beside the point.
Oh, so that's it. You're evading the question, are you?
Yeah, how do you like that? Supposing we invaded your question.
Look, the question is...
Where are you going to get bananas these days?
That is not the question.
Oh, yes, it is. Just because you can't answer, don't say it isn't the question. I heard Miss McConnell's question.
You're quite right, Mr. Sheldon. That was Miss McConnell's question.
Certainly.
If you can't answer it, Mr. Howard, come out like a man and say so.
But we're not interested in Miss McConnell's question.
Speak for yourself, John Alton.
No.
I, for one, am definitely interested in Miss McConnell's question.
I agree with you, Mr. McNaughton. I think Miss McConnell's question is the most fascinating question I've heard all week.
Yes.
Don't you think so, Miss McConnell?
What was the question?
Heaven help the sailors on a night like this. Look, the question is, where are you going to get bananas eaten? Wait a minute.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Who thought that up?
That is not the question.
That is... Oh, so now you're going to change it. Too hard for you to answer, huh?
Isn't that just like him, you know?
Right.
Suppose we did that.
Look, the question is, how long is the Panama Canal? Wait a minute. You got me in an awful state here.
What's the name of the state, Mr. Howard?
Maybe he's in Florida.
Oh, Maine, you know, is very nice this time of year.
Oh, please, I'm going nuts.
You're going nuts? Oh, I didn't think you like it up there. Too many mosquitoes.
Yeah, and the food is terrible.
I see.
So, Mr. Howard, why don't you go up to Martha's Vineyard? You'll like Martha, lovely girl.
Will you please make some attempt to answer the question? If I had 4 apples and someone gave me 2 bananas, how many apples will I have?
Where are you going to get bananas these days?
Please. These guys are in a rut. I'm glad they got out of that one. This is the worst thing yet. They're in a rut again. Ain't that all? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first... Say, what is it? Now we come to that part of the program where we ask the studio audience to help us out. We've invited 2 members of the audience up here on the stage. Well, who is our first guest this evening, Mr. Robert?
Our first guest, Mr. Howard, is Coxswain Roger Beard of the United States Navy.
Well, Good evening, sir. We're glad you came up. Takes courage to face these 3 vacant mines we have here. Where are you from, would you care to tell us? That is, where's your hometown?
I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, where's that?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
That's right.
Well, put soap in my mouth and call me Bubbles. You know, I used to work in that town. Yeah, I was a sculptor in a restaurant.
Oh, I say, you were a sculptor in a restaurant?
Yeah, I used to chisel my meals.
Very cute.
You know, Roger, I never forget the last war. They put me in 8F.
Why did they put you in 8F?
I had 2 sons in 4F.
I hope these morons are not annoying you, Walter. Would you tell us a little more about yourself? We're sort of interested.
Yeah, what's your first name, honey?
Raj.
What?
Raj.
Roger?
Raj, he called.
Oh, Raj. Ain't that cute as our Raj?
His name.
He's a cute little kid, too, ain't he?
All right, he's a very nice boy.
Oh, he sure is as sweet as peaches.
All right.
Well, you can just call me Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of the boys.
You're one of the boys. Well, whichever one of the boys you are, he isn't going to like it. Will you pick a question out of the hat for us, Roger, please? And would you be kind enough to read the question, if you don't mind?
What are shoe trees used for?
Oh, very good. What are shoe trees used for? Now, there's a good question.
Oh, indeed it is a good question, rather. I love questions about trees, you know. It brings out the woodsman in me.
I see. It also brings out the sap. I'm talking about shoe trees.
I never knew shoes grew on trees.
I see. Miss McConnell, with the proper diet, and if you take real good care of yourself, you have excellent chances of being a moron, if you know what I mean.
I'm not interested.
No.
No, I belong to too many lodges now.
All right. Hey. Miss McConnell, do you know what a shoe tree is?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I'm a heel, ain't I?
Yeah, you certainly are. That goes without saying. Mr. Sheldon, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you put in your shoes when you take them off at night?
Are you supposed to take your shoes off at night?
You know, speaking of shoes, I had a perfectly good pair of patent leather shoes, but they all cracked up on me.
What happened to them?
I don't know. I suppose the patent must have run out.
The patent must have run out, yeah.
My old man bought a pair of police shoes the other day, but he don't like them.
You don't like police shoes?
No. Every time he puts them on, they pinch his feet.
They pinch his feet. Very, very funny, Miss McConnell.
I bought my wife a pair of alligator shoes the other day.
My God, I didn't know alligators wore shoes.
No, wait a minute. Let's get on here. Mr. McNaughton means the shoes were made from alligators.
Boy, she must have big feet.
Yeah, no, wait.
You mean every time his wife wants a pair of shoes, they gotta kill an alligator?
No, that isn't the thought.
Well, have you know, Mr. Sheldon, my wife has very dainty feet.
Yeah?
Yes, but she puts them in the strangest places.
She puts them in the strangest places.
Say, what size shoes do you take, Miss McConnell?
Well, I take a 6. But 7 feels so good, I buy an 8.
You buy it?
Well, I imagine 8s would feel better.
Oh, yes, indeedy. When I used to wear a 7, I had a corn on the top of my toe. But now the corn is on the bottom of my foot.
Do you find that an improvement?
Oh, sure. Now no one can step on it but me.
Can we please get back to the question? Can either of you tell me what shoe trees are used for?
Well, why don't you ask the man you bought them from?
I didn't buy them.
Well, where did you get them?
Look, I haven't got any shoes.
Then what do you care where they come from?
Why don't you mind your own business?
Yeah. All right, never mind. Will you cut it out?
Mr. Howard, what was the question again, please?
Where can you buy bananas these days?
That's the question. What is this? What's happening? Who is our next guest, Mr. Roberts?
Our next guest, Mr. Howard, is Staff Sergeant Mary Field of the Women's Army Corps.
How do you do, Miss Field? This is indeed a pleasure. We're very, very happy to have you with us.
Oh, a very charming girl, isn't she, Mr. Howard?
All right, she is a charming
rather.
girl.
You know, it's girls like her that make me like girls like her.
I see. Very cute. I wish you'd do me a favor, Mr. McNaughton, and stop embarrassing our guest here. Miss Fields, pay no attention to them. They're beginning to get into their second childhood. Where is your hometown? Would you care to tell us?
I certainly would. It's Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Been in Cleveland many, many times. You didn't happen to work in May's department store there, did you?
No, I didn't.
That's
but
down on the square.
I know.
Yeah, I've been through there in the bargain basement many times. What are you doing in New York, may I ask? Are you visiting here or are you stationed?
I'm stationed here.
Oh, I see.
Recruiting.
Oh, recruiting. Well, my, that's swell. You like your work in the service?
Yes, I do.
How long
Very
you been?
interesting.
How long you been in New York?
I have been in New York for a year and a half.
Oh, a year and a half. Then you've been around New York quite some. How do you compare the boys in New York with the boys in Cleveland? Or are you married? Maybe before. Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Well, then you can answer that question. What would you say?
Well, most of the boys from Cleveland are in New York, so that's all right.
You don't mean by that you brought them with you. They just happen to be
They
here.
just happen to be here.
Well, that's fine. Have you met Mayor LaGuardia yet?
No, I haven't.
No.
I'll tell you how you can meet him. If you see a big hat walking around, just look up.
Would you care to tell us, Miss
You know, I just got a postcard from a girl in Chicago.
Yeah, what'd she say?
Oh, I don't know. There's no writing on it.
No writing on it?
No, well, you see, she's not speaking to me.
I just got a letter the other day from an old girl of mine.
Yeah?
Boy, was she dumb. She used to sign her name with a cross.
Sign her name with a cross?
Yeah, now she signs it with a circle.
Really? How come?
Huh?
How come?
Well, she got married. She changed her name.
Miss Fields, pay no attention to them. May I ask you, what did you do in Cleveland before you joined the...
Well, I did many things. Most of my time was spent in newspaper work, advertising newspaper work.
Advertising. What newspaper? You want to give it a plug?
Why, certainly Cleveland Shopping News.
Oh, the Cleveland what?
Shopping News.
Oh, the Cleveland Shopping News. I
That's
thought you
right.
said Shopping News. I can't hear very good. You know, at my age, everything goes back on you. Well, we're more than glad to... What do you intend to do after the war? Have you made any plans? That is, any post-war plans?
I'm afraid to think about it. I think we should get this war over with first, and then think
Well,
about
that's
it.
very good. That's very good. That is, Miss Fields, a very good thought. And I want to tell you, I've enjoyed my interview with you immensely. Now,
I love her uniform.
Oh, you like her uniform?
Oh, she's swell. It's all with you, don't she?
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, I've just got to borrow some kind of a costume.
A costume?
Yeah, I'm going to a masquerade tomorrow night.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what to go as.
I see. Why don't you tie a rope around your waist and go as 2 bales of hay?
Why don't you shut up, you old skinny shrimp? Why don't you put a rubber band around your head and go with me as a legend?
There'd be no point in that.
Boy, she pretty near made a mark out of you.
She made a mark out of me. I think you're right there, Mr. Sheldon. Well, I think we'd like to have our good friend here and guest help us out by picking a question out of the dunce cap, if she will. Any question you get a hold of, and would you be kind enough, Miss Fields, to read the question for us, please?
How long is a half-a-mile racetrack?
Please. Please, no help from the audience, please. How long is a half-a-mile racetrack? The question's about racetracks.
You know, I got on a horse last week.
How long was it?
The horse?
No, the racetrack.
I don't know, but I know the horse was long coming in.
I
Did you bet him on the nose?
No, I bet on the whole horse.
Please, let's get on here. I'm afraid, Miss Fields, your question's going to take a little time. Will you offer Miss Fields a chair? I don't like to keep her standing there. Look, let's get on here with the question. Now, don't get away from it. How long is a half-mile racetrack?
I got a tip on a horse tomorrow. I'm going to bet my wad.
Gonna bet your wad. What are you gonna have left to chew? Leave. Will you leave that racing form alone and pay attention to the question?
You ever bet on horses, Mr. McNaughton?
Oh, rather, yes. You know, the last time I backed a horse, it cost me $50.
Cost you $50?
Yes, I backed him into a store window. Man was very annoyed, too.
Never mind. Let me tell you something. You guys are upsetting my gastric acidity here. Let's get on with the question, will you? Please.
Oh, boy. Here's a horse I got to bet. Oh, he can't lose.
Where have I heard that before?
What makes you so sure he can't lose?
Says here, he's starting at 20 to 1, but the race don't start until 1 o'clock.
Well, you know, let me see now. That gives him a 20-minute start, doesn't it? He ought to win in the walk.
All right, he ought to win.
I don't like those horses are supposed to win in a walk.
No.
When I bet on them, the other horses start running.
All right. Look, we have a guest there. Now let's answer the question.
Yeah, exactly. Answer the... What was the question, Mr. Howard?
Where are you going to get bananas these days?
Will you forget about bananas?
Why, what's the matter with bananas?
I said nothing about bananas.
You certainly did. You said, let's forget about bananas.
Please.
Don't you like bananas, Mr. Howard?
Oh, I love bananas,
Well,
Mr.
where are you
Scott.
going to get them?
The question is, how long is a half-mile banana? I mean, wait a minute. I wonder what this is going to be. George? I'm going to turn the thing into a funeral here any minute. Don't mind it. Anything will happen with this horse. There they go. There goes his option right there. Get the fuck. Thank you. Well, it's about time for us to put the dummies back in the trunk again before they get us all in a flurry here.
Oh, I like that song.
What song?
The flurry with the fringe on top.
No, that's Surrey.
I don't know, Mr. Howard. Surrey is an Indian dish like chicken surrey or lamb surrey.
No, that's curry.
Oh, there's another beautiful song. Curry me back to old Virginia.
I didn't say that. I said Surrey.
Oh, that's all right, old boy. Don't apologize.
Look. A surrey is a big old-fashioned vehicle, square in the back with two skinny shafts sticking out of a big bulky body.
Now we're back to Miss McConnell again.
Oh, please. Well, there you are, folks. It's time to say goodnight for Harry McNaughton, Lulu McConnell, George Sheldon, Al Trace, and his band. This is Tom Howard saying good night and good nonsense.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
And that's It Pays to Be Ignorant from August 11th, 1944. It's heard on CBS with Ken Roberts announcing. Ken Roberts was the longtime announcer on the Shadow Mutual Network. So here he was on CBS. I guess he got to bounce around and do announcing on different networks like you do, Lisa. All the different radio shows you're co-host on. And
yeah, it's hard to keep track.
All your movie roles and television.
Yeah, I'm already confused just thinking about it.
You know, and all your samba dancing classes and all the things.
It's
you
a
do.
lot.
Yeah, I know. You're a busy gal. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, it's more of Hollywood 360.
More Hollywood 360 after these important messages.
Attention shoppers, clean up on aisle 14. Clean up on aisle 14. Someone dropped a jar of pickles. Kosher pickles.
Beatboxing at a big box store. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
A red minivan has the lights on in the parking lot.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Geico.
At your local CVS pharmacy, we want to make your life easier so you can focus on feeling good and saving time and money. This week only, save big on all the essentials. There are over $350 in extra bucks in this week's ad. Plus, earn $5 in extra bucks when you spend $20 on any Tide, Bounty, or Puffs products. Restrictions apply. See circular or cvs.com/weekly ad for details. Feel good? Save money at your neighborhood CVS pharmacy.
At Discover, we believe anniversaries should be a time of celebration, not obligation. That's why we think annual fees are ridiculous. And now, just for giving us a try, we're going to give new card members a one-year anniversary gift they'll never forget. At the end of your first year, we'll match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar. No caps and no catches, because we know if you try us, you'll like us. And that's worth every penny. Try it and believe it at discover.com/match. Cashback match offer only for new card members. Limitations apply.
The thought of winter coming can be chilling. Knee-deep snow, face-numbing winds, frozen fingers, temperatures below zero. And yet, without a Duralast car battery, it could be even worse. That's why Duralast batteries are tested to perform in harsh conditions. So even if it's 40 below zero, your car can start up like it's 72 and sunny. Duralast, proven tough and only at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember, now available in stores everywhere. Statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
And now back to Hollywood 360 with Carl Amari.
Next time, it's the adventures of Philip Marlowe from 1949. Then Art Linkletter proves that people are funny. That's next time, right here on Hollywood 360. We'll see you then.
This is Michael Medved for Townhall.com. The unbounded enthusiasm for Oprah Winfrey's prospective presidential run illustrates the Democrats' tendency to prioritize personality above policy. Nobody knows where Oprah stands on issues of the day or what style of governance should favor, but Democrats know she is a popular personality, and that's enough for them. Barack Obama enjoyed similar popularity among Democrats. His brief pre-White House career displayed few practical achievements or even a coherent philosophy, but inspiring speeches about hope and change gave him an almost magical appeal. In approaching President Trump, of course, Democrats also preferred to ignore substance and to concentrate on style. Liberals would rather scold the latest presidential tweet than consider the booming economy or the lowest black unemployment rate ever measured. The GOP shouldn't help them in this effort, but must focus relentlessly on the nation's pressing issues rather than the president's personality. I'm Michael Medved.
The answer you've been looking for. 570 WWRC Bethesda, 1250 WRCW Warrington, AM 570. The answer.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Ron DeRockstra. Senators have gone home for the evening in a government shutdown after failing to break their impasse over a short-term funding bill. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said, though, he's not giving up.
So I want to assure the American people we'll be right back at this tomorrow. Say again to the American people, we'll be right back at this tomorrow and for as long as it takes.
The government shutdown began early Saturday morning after Senate Democrats and some Republicans blocked a temporary funding measure, saying it didn't go far enough. The Senate will come back at 1 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday and try to end the shutdown before the full impact is felt on Monday morning. Vice President Mike Pence is overseas. He reaffirmed in a meeting with Egypt's president Saturday that President Trump's position recognizing Jerusalem.
That we're absolutely committed to preserving the status quo with regard to holy sites in Jerusalem.
Mr. Pence said he told Egypt's president that President Trump remains committed to the status quo and still wants to recognize the city as Israel's capital.
We have come to no final resolution about boundaries or other issues that are to be negotiated between the parties. And if the parties agree, I've reminded President El-Sisi that President Trump said that if the parties agree, we will support a two-state solution.
Mr. Pence is visiting Israel next week, where he's expected to receive a warm welcome. He's also scheduled to address the Knesset. Experts say the flu season apparently hasn't peaked yet, even though they thought otherwise. 32 states reported high patient traffic last week, up from 26 the previous week, which was the busiest week for flu symptoms in 9 years. In New York, state officials say a drastic rise in flu cases hospitalized more than 1,600 people this past week. Hawaii was the only state that did not have widespread illnesses. News and analysis at townhall.com.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by, making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a large portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-694-7394. 800-694-7394. That's 800-694-7394.
A British Airways pilot's been removed from the cockpit of a flight amid fears that he was drunk.
The Sun newspaper reported that police rushed on the plane and headed straight for the cockpit. The first officer was cuffed and led away. The newspaper says worried airline workers alerted police before the flight left for Mauritius. Sussex police say a 49-year-old man from West London has been arrested on suspicion of performing an aviation function when the level of alcohol was over the prescribed limits. The flight departed several hours late from Gatwick after another crew member joined the flight. BA apologised for the delay and said in a statement that it was taking this matter extremely seriously and are assisting the police with their inquiries. Karen Chamas, London.
A magnitude 6.3 earthquake struck northern Chile a little after 10 p.m. local time Saturday night, some 47 miles east of the city of Putre. So far, no immediate reports of damage or a possible tsunami. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Ron DeRockstra. Records show the Las Vegas gunman was a germaphobe, possibly bipolar.
After 3 months of investigation, police have learned more about Las Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock. He was a high-stakes gambler on a losing streak, obsessed with cleanliness, possibly bipolar, and was having difficulties with his live-in girlfriend. But hundreds of interviews and thousands of pieces of evidence have not answered the key question. Why did Paddock open fire from a high-rise hotel suite, killing 58 people and injuring more than 800 others in the deadliest shooting in modern U.S. history? Patrick Foss reporting.
Think your internet is fast? According to Speed Test Global Index, Norway had the fastest mobile internet speed in the world back in December. U.S. ranked 45th behind Singapore at number 4 and China at 29th, but we were faster than Indonesia at 106 or Iraq at 123rd. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Ron DeRockstra.
This is AM 570, The Answer.
And now, for the show reflecting on classic radio, Hollywood 360, with your host, Carl Amari.
You lost your magic. They knocked you off your game. Your Carlness went right out the window.
What's with this Carlness? It's not even a real word.
It's a conjunction, a preposition. It's a philosophy, a way of life. It's your name with ness attached to it.
Bob, listen to me. If you'd have done what I asked you to and come in my dressing room before the show, you'd have known that you weren't supposed to come out here until I introduced you.
Jack, I tried to get into your dressing room, but I didn't have a nickel.
I understand you're pretty funny as a DJ, and comedy is a kind of hobby of mine. Well, actually, it's a little more than just a hobby. Reader's Digest is considering publishing 2 of my jokes.
Really?
Yeah.
From Hollywood, it's time now for $20.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carl Amari, and this is Hollywood 360, the radio show that presents the best